What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about a couple different topics. We're going to be talking about 6 new Marvel Rival heroes leaked, with 5 more X-Men potentially on the way. We're going to talk about GeForce Now game streaming is sold out for many, which is weird. We'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about the tariffs. Trump's new tariffs could lead to more expensive video games, experts say. Will it, though? We'll talk about that as well. And if we have time, we'll talk about Bungie reportedly wanting to make single-player games instead of more live service titles. And if we have time, we'll talk about the Unknown 9 franchise canceled as developers admits games didn't come to near expectations. If you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do live streams, we do gameplay, we do uploads, we do podcasts, lots of different content here. You can join our Discord. Discord is, anyone can join. If you're a member of the channel, you can get more rooms inside the Discord with different topics and whatnot. If you're a member once, you're always a member. It doesn't really matter if you paid for another month or not. It's been like that from the very beginning. So make sure you check out all the stuff that we have here on this channel. What's going on, Travis? What's going on, Dan? Dan Owen, Gamer, Robert Jones, Crowded House, Big Mo. Good morning. Good morning. Crowded says, tariffs aren't raising game prices. Publishers are raising game prices and saying it's because of the tariffs. We'll get there. We'll get there, House. We'll get there. It's kind of like how McDonald's tripled their prices across the country, blamed it on the minimum wage increase, even though some states didn't even increase the minimum wage. That's right. We'll talk about that. What's going on, Quest? Good morning. Good morning. All right. Let's get started here. Actually, before I even get started to the stories, Travis brought it up. He said, 30, Delta Force seemed like a lot of fun. I don't know if you know the last time I saw you laughing that much playing a sniper. I like sniping, man. Here's the thing. We talked about Battlefront 2042 yesterday, or Battlefield, the series in general. And then we read what they potentially could be doing to Battlefield. And I played Delta Force yesterday for the very first time. And the way Delta Force is a free-to-play game with battle passes and different things. I have a feeling that is exactly what the next Battlefield's going to be. But on top of that, instead of a free-to-play game, it's going to be a full-fledged price game at $70, maybe $80, maybe $100, all depending on where the market goes. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be exactly like that. I had fun, though. I think the graphics are fantastic. And we had to lower it because of the streaming last night. It was getting a little hitching. There's lots of different classes. I don't like the hero classes, but it works for Delta Force. I don't think it works for Battlefield because that's not what Battlefield was. The guns felt good. The sound design was good. There's a couple different game modes. I don't like the extraction thing. I played the tutorial part of it. You know, it's extraction. I do like the boards and the maps that we played last night. Obviously, playing, I didn't know my way around, or, you know, a mouse and keyboard's not my best thing. But when we were getting in the groove, and we had, I think, like 25, 26 kills or whatever it was, that one map, I was having a blast. I truly having a blast, you know, just sniping people from that distance and stuff. It felt good. So we'll probably play more of that down the road. I want to try Arma Reforged as well. I think that'll be more my speed. That's the one thing I didn't like about Delta Force. I shouldn't say didn't like. Wasn't a fan of. It's like faster than Battlefield, but slower than Call of Duty, if that makes sense, right? Like the time to kill. And then the smoke. The smoke is, I mean, smoke is everywhere. But there's so much smoke, it's kind of ridiculous. You can't see shit. And I know they have the infrared that you can see and whatnot. Again, I've only played it for like 3.5 hours, so I think the more I play it, the more I'll get used to it and whatnot. But overall, I liked it. Let's go on, Roadkill. All right, let's start off with... What do we want to start off with? And let's get it out of the way. Right? Just saying the name, people are like, I'm out of here, right? So the first thing is Trump's new tariffs could lead to more expensive video games, experts say. I think this is bullshit right off the bat, okay? Because both you and I have brains, and we know that most like 80%, if not more now, of all games are digital, right? And there is no digital tariff. That doesn't exist right now, at least right now. Okay. So they're not raising the price of video games. Now, they can raise the price. Now, I haven't read this article yet. They can raise the price of physical games. And if they raise the price of physical games, the game company could be like, well, we're keeping it in parity, right? Because if they raise the physical price of discs, then they would raise the digital price of the disc to maintain that same consistency. But to say that video games are going up in price because of tariffs, nobody, or I should say, a lot less people are buying physical video games, so it wouldn't really make the price go up, because this would make sense if the majority of people were buying physical discs for their games. But we know that's not true anymore. Okay, so let's read the article and see what they have to say. It says, Trump's new tariffs could lead to more expensive video games, experts say. None of this is good for physical video game market. Is there a physical game market? GameStop's closing down. They're not even selling video games anymore. They all went to like a retro shop. Okay. So one of the first executive orders that President Trump discussed on Monday after the inauguration was a 25% tariff for Mexico and Canada that's expected to become effective February 1st. A good amount of production infrastructure for video game discs happens in Mexico. So what's the effect going to be for the end consumer? No one knows yet. Let's write an article about it, right? And who knows? And the order will also even happen. That's right. Let's put FOMO into people. Video games going to go up in price, right? That's not what's happened yet. It might not even happen because most people are buying digital games. But the analyst Matt Piscatella has now shared his thoughts on how the new tariffs could impact people who play video games and is expecting higher prices overall. I like how he says it could impact people who play video games, which is like millions and millions, hundreds of millions of people are playing video games now, right? Posting on social media, Piscatella said that he expects to see that a sharp downtick in the number of disc-based games that are released in the U.S., given that much of the production's infrastructure is in Mexico. Stop. Hard stop. Okay? Mr. Piscatella here wants you to believe that before Trump got in office, there was like no shift that was happening in the video game industry where the downtick of physical media was going down, right? Mr. Piscatella here is trying to put it in a way to say that the reason it's happening is because of the new administration, which is just absurd. Okay, we all know there's plenty of articles, plenty of things that we've talked about, not over the last 4 years, okay, over the last 10 years, okay? It was 2018 to 2019, I'm sorry, 19 to 20, where it shifted from digital or physical to digital, and now it's just got exponentially higher and higher because the industry itself, between Sony, Nintendo, Xbox, PC, Epic, it doesn't matter who, the companies are all putting their stuff on digital format. They're also pushing towards the cloud. They're also pushing towards subscription services. So this is all a bunch of malarkey right now, just on that state. Oh, production of infrastructure is in Mexico. Great. The tariff only applies to people if you keep where your business is. You can move your business. This is how you get more business in your countries. Okay. If companies still go ahead with making discs, then consumers can expect higher prices, he said. And not just physical discs, Piscatella said. The experts' digital game prices to go up as well. Do you see this theme that's going on, chat, in the last, I don't know, week and a half, right? Lots of articles talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out and how they're waiting for Rockstar and 2K Games, that it would be great for the industry if they raise their price from $70 to $80, if not $80 to $100, and being the first $100 video game, right? They're all rooting for this. Not us, not the consumer, but the industry is rooting for this so they can raise the prices. Now you have another person saying if they go ahead that they accept higher prices, okay, for physical discs, but also digital games, right? Because we all know digital games, okay, cost less than the physical games. They're not printing a disc. They're not putting a package. They're not shipping it. They're not doing anything, okay? A digital game has no disc, of course, but companies may want to retain the price parity. There you go. There you go. What did I say in the beginning? I said because the physical disc might go up, they want to bring the digital disc up because they have to keep it parity, right? Of course. all the same between physical and digital in the event of tariff-driven price increase. Imagine, let's just say physical discs for video games is down to like, let's say 10%. 10% of people still buy physical media for video games. Okay. 90% buy it digital. So because the 10% people are paying more money because of the tariffs, we have to raise the price for the 90% that are buying it digital. Yes, it's that absurd. Okay. So Piscatella added that the US-based video game, okay. Did I miss that? Between the physical and digital? Yeah, we already got that. Piscatella added that the US-based video game companies should shift production out of Mexico and into the US, but not without significant investment. Well, of course. I mean, look, if you don't want to pay the 25% tariff, then you would have to move your business into the States. Okay? And once you put it into the States, guess what would happen? They would still raise the price because they're going to throw it towards the customers. Okay? That's what's going to happen, even if they do move it. Okay? That's probably not going to happen. In part, is spending the physical games in the U.S. is already half of what it was in 2021 and continues to decline rapidly, Piscatella said. Now, Trump has also suggested we could implement a 60% tariff on goods from China, which could have significant ramifications on video games and video game hardware. Okay, so obviously, if you're a PlayStation fan or an Xbox fan, all these things are made overseas and then shipped over here, so it would be a lot more money. Well, guess what? Guess who wins here? Guess who's made the shift to see what's happened here? Okay, one of these companies has made a shift, and one of them has not made a shift. Okay. Sony has not made the shift. They're still in physical media. They're still in physical consoles. And meanwhile, Microsoft has shifted where you can play it on a mobile phone digitally. You can play it on a PC digitally. You can play it on a laptop, Amazon Fire Stick, a television set, right? All of these things have shifted into a digital format, so you don't even need to buy a physical media anymore. But I'm sure someone will be like, well, they got to raise Game Pass now because of the tariffs. Okay? This is all a bunch of malarkey, right? There is no digital tariff. There is no digital tariff. Okay? Let me look it up real fast because I'm pretty sure. I don't really follow a lot of politics and stuff like that, but I do know there is no digital tariff. Okay? So here we go. Tariffs on digital products are prohibited by the World Trade Organization. Okay? However, countries can impose an internal tax on digital products. Okay, so there is no tariff. You can't put a tariff on a digital product, but because they're still physical, they can put a tariff on the physical and then raise the price of everything else. Okay, but I love the narrative. I love the narrative that they're trying to put is because of this guy. Is why games are going up in price, not because of scummy business practices by the companies that are already making a shit ton of money off of these video games, off of microtransactions, off everything else. Because if they're going to charge a tariff on the physical media and then they're going to raise the digital media, do you think they're going to start charging more for the digital goods that you're paying for on the season pass, the battle pass, because of these raising costs and prices because video games are hard to make and they have to make a video game for $315 million? You better believe they are. You better believe they are. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts in the live stream. If you're watching this over on Twitter or X, come on over to the YouTube channel, 30NSG. You can join the conversation with the live chat. Back and forth we go. Conversation. It is not a debate. We just hear what your thoughts are on these topics. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here. Roadkill says Xbox is all digital. PlayStation still does physical. Yeah. But gamers on PlayStation, Roadkill, regardless if you still buy right, the actual consoles physical, but video games is at like an 80 to 85% of people buying video games are all digital. All digital. El Dente says you're importing the data from somewhere and they have a server in China, so get tariff. They can't do tariffs on digital goods. But there are digital taxes. You can't put a tariff, but you can impose a tax, but you can't put a tariff on the actual digital goods. Travis says, don't know Trump is responsible for the flood of 1708 and is also planning to build a giant satellite cannon on the moon while twirling his mustache. Wait, did you just make him Dr. Roboto from Sonic? That's the guy's name, right? Sarge says a disc is like 3 cents, maybe 6 cents now, and 25% for 1.5 cents. Woo! Buckle up, 7.5-cent disc. That's right. Travis says 30. I'm sorry, but this guy is 1,000% rage baiting. Trump is evil. Yeah, it's a stupid thing, right? El Dente says, why make it cheaper if you can make it more expensive and make more profit? Of course, that's a great point, El Dente. Why? Tariff raises the price by 2%. Companies would raise it 20% and make 18% of profit and say it's a tariff. It's exactly the way they would do it. Mo says Game Pass, right? Everyone keeps raising the prices, and guess what's going to look better for everybody? Game Pass. Right. Mo says, but we dead, though. No, 30. You can't say that. Oh, I'm sorry. I won't say that. Travis says, don't even remotely try and say that Xbox saw this coming. They didn't see anything. They did what they wanted to, and lucked out. No, Travis, stop it. Stop it, Travis. I have been on record, and you haven't been here. You've only been here for about a year and a half or so. Okay, maybe almost 2 years. Okay, but on GXG, because that's the only place you can see most of the stuff that I've talked about, because my other channel, we got rid of most of the content over there. Okay, but going way back to like 2016, 2017, this armchair warrior talking about the way the future is going to go. And that's exactly what Microsoft did. I've been saying they've shifted gears. Now, maybe it's not because of the tariffs, but they saw that they could make more profit off a subscription service than they could of the actual physical copies of the stuff. Kylo says, I can't get over how Lono for the past month has been using GTA 6 for clickbait, putting it in his title every morning. It's absurd at this point. I don't know anything about that, Kylo. We go at the exact same time, so I don't know what he's doing. Travis says 30, because Trump was responsible for everything wrong, even before it was born. He punched your mother, so hate him. Did he punch my mother? Bitch. What's wrong, Kraken? El Dente says you can't call it a tariff, but you can get taxed. That's right. Roadkill says Trump is not evil. Kamala is the Democrat are evil. I don't want to go down a left to right side here. We're talking about the story. The story is that the article is written that game prices are going to go up in price because of Trump's tariffs. And it's absurd. It's absurd, right? Because they're already pushing the narrative of these games need to cost more money, right? There's articles after articles after articles of the industry from IGN and GameSpot and all these other places talking about how they're rooting for GTA 6 to be a $80 to $100 game, right? The industry is looking forward to this. They're like, what are you going to do, Rockstar? Please make your game $100 so we can all raise our prices, right? That's what they're doing. Right? That has nothing to do with left or right. That has to do with greedy companies charging money for games that they already raised the price for. Well, this game cost $1 billion. We've been working on it for 12 years. Argus says Microsoft doesn't luck out. They are the GOAT. Yeah, luck out. They're a $1 trillion company, right? They're just very lucky at what they're doing. They don't see things or analyze things ahead of time. El Dente says that my favorite is not evil. Lucifer from the other party is the evil one. Yeah, I don't care about that stuff. We're talking about like the article itself, and the article was saying that this is the reason prices are going to raise off the digital stuff. Remember, 10% of people are still buying physical, but we got to raise up everybody's price because of the 10%ers. They look for anything. They'll look for any little thing to be like, well, GameStop ran out of discs. We got to raise the disc prices. Altern says, let's be honest, who would buy a $100 standard edition of a game? Well, buckle up, Altern. because that's what's going to happen. It's going to be $100 standard. It's going to be like 130, silver edition, 150 to 175, all inclusive edition. Do you know what I mean? That's the way they're going to do it. Ron Slusher says, I'm not buying a $100 game. You say that now, Ron, but there'll be that game. There'll be that game. Concord 2 comes out. Concord 2 comes out, Ron, and you're like, man, I loved Concord 1. I'm definitely buying Concord 2 for $100. What's going on, Winzo? Winzo says, morning 30. I don't know if and reality out here is saying, but if the stuff goes up like this, I can't see myself gaming in the same anymore. I'll start becoming impossible to afford, and it'll be stingy on game. Well, stingy on game. Well, here's the thing, right? Make the problem sell the solution, right? If you can't afford Madden for $70, $80, $100 every year, guess what? EA Play. If you can't afford the first-party titles for Xbox, guess what? Game Pass. If you can't afford AC Shadows for $100, guess what? Ubisoft Plus, right? Make the problem sell the solution. They already have the solution there. So as prices come up for video games for physical and digital, guess where you're going to go? Monthly subscription for your favorite games. Altered says, I don't forget people. AI has taken some of those devs' jobs, meaning less people, less expensive, more profit, same price of the games. No, not the same. Higher prices. Crowd says, I'm just going to buy less games. It's not like I'm making more money. Right, House. El Dente says, I won't pay $100 for a game, but I'll pay $60 for a base game and $20 for DLC times 4. That's my whole mentality with these season passes and battle passes and microtransactions, El Dente. Like, if you lower the price, just this, like, I'm not asking for like $2 skins, right? But they're charging $28 for skins in microtransaction stores, right? If you put that to $10, someone that would buy one skin for $28 is going to buy 3 skins now, and they might buy 6 skins, right? There's an easy joke there. I could have said 4 skins, but This year looks like another year. I'll be buying indie games only. Yeah, why is it that the indie games are not going up in price? Is that crazy? AAA games go up in price, but indie games don't go up in price. Windows says that's true. I'll just stay on that. Seems like Microsoft isn't the idiot after all with the narrative out there. Xbox dead. I think that makes the others dead. I don't think it makes anyone dead because anyone can shift, right? Like right now, Nintendo's staying strong with their hard consoles and discs. They also do digital. Sony's staying hard, with their consoles and their physical media, and they can make the shift to digital. Everyone's got digital, right? You could buy Nintendo games and Sony games digitally right now. Okay, they can make it a real simple move to put it more on like what Xbox is doing. They're just holding off to see what it does, right? They're letting Microsoft go ahead first to test out the waters. Jason says, yeah, this is the backlog year for me, aside from MGS Delta. Ron says, imagine Vampire Survivors costing $100. Right? Altered says, the only game I'm thinking of I can pay $100 is the Ultimate Alliance 4, but it has to be really good and releasing on the other consoles, because if it's on the Switch 2, I won't buy it. I bought the Switch, but I also justified it because when I bought a Switch, I was like, I want it for Ultimate Alliance 3. But then I was like, I also have a kid. He's getting to the age where he'll start playing video games. I was like, you know what? I can convince, right? Because you got to convince your loved one if you're married or have a girlfriend or a significant other, right? You got to convince them of like, hey, I want a Switch. Like, we can't afford a Switch. You're like, well, can we get a Switch because our kids are going to start gaming? They're like, that's actually a good idea, right? You got to sell it to them, right? That's the reason I bought a Switch, because I know I would get my money's worth out of it. And obviously, I've gotten my money's worth out of it. But yeah, just to buy it for one game, that's not justifiable, for at least for me, right? Crowded says they have subscriptions for goddamn printer ink. Yeah, I don't even think you can buy printer ink anymore, House. I think you have to do the subscription service, right? Like, people were just... think about the business mentality here for the printers. Printers used to be super expensive and the ink was whatever. But then printers became so cheap, and the ink was so expensive that people were throwing away their printers just to get new ink cartridges because it was cheaper than getting the ink cartridge. Then the printer companies were like, wait a minute, people are throwing away their printers instead of getting the ink. So now let's just not sell the ink and then just do a subscription service. Genius. And that's the world we live in now. Travis says, 30, crazy idea for games. But what if we made the game where people could also enjoy the feeling of being a kid playing soldiers in the backyard? What do you mean? That's Battlefield. Never heard of it. Robert Jones says, missed opportunity to get 2 Switches. I probably did miss the opportunity to get 2 Switches. We almost sold. This is how I almost did it, Jones, but it didn't happen, right? We almost got a Switch Lite because my wife was really liking Animal Crossing and she didn't want to share the Switch with her son because her son was playing it so much and she couldn't play on Animal Crossing. And there was a brief moment of time where we could have got a Switch Lite, but then we didn't. So there's always opportunities. You just got to strike. Altern says, what you're saying is that when you get married, you become a perfect salesperson to convince your wife. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Jason says, I recently rebought Ultimate Alliance 3 for the expansion pass. Oh, it's a good expansion pass, by the way, Jason. Let's see. Robert Jones says, kid wants to play Pokemon and can't catch them all by themselves. That's true. I'll use that next time. Also, but she knows I'm not a big Pokemon fan, so. You can still buy ink. Also, best to buy liquid refillable ink. Yeah, but isn't the ink way more expensive now? Gamer says, I think Nintendo will be the only one company producing physical games. Yeah, because and here's the funny part, their little discs are the most expensive fucking video games out there for the first party games. They never go on sale for the physical discs. Never. They're so adamant at staying at that. Like, you could get Breath of the Wild right now for still almost full price, if not full price. World says, dude, my mom stole my GameCube when I was younger because of her Animal Crossing addiction. See? There you go. That's the way to a woman's heart. Animal Crossing. What's going on, Mr. Luke? We only talked about the potential of the Trump's tariffs could make this is the title that we worked with here. Trump's new tariffs could lead to more expensive video games, experts say. Right? So we were talking about how I don't think it's the tariffs because there is no digital tariff, right? And they're using this as an example, or they're using this as the crux of, well, this is why video games are going to go up, even though they've been beating on the drum that they're waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6 to come out so game prices are higher. I will laugh my ass off if Grand Theft Auto comes out and it stays exactly at $70. The rest of the people in the industry will be like, what? You could have gave us more money. Grand Theft Auto's like, yeah, $70. We're going to make a shit ton of money off the GTA Online anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Luke says, I like the beanie. Thanks. So do my ears. It's cold here. I know it's not cold for the rest of you, but in Florida, right now it's like 38 degrees outside and raining. And my house is built in like 1942, and we have we don't have the best insulation in a 1942 house. Liquid ink is cheaper and lasts way longer. Travis says, 30, did you hear that Gorilla is preparing a lawsuit for the Temu Horizon? Don't know if it'll work, but what's clear that they're also speaking with Nintendo lawyers. You sue now. I don't know where. Can you send me that article? I have not seen that they're preparing for a lawsuit. Is that hearsay or is that actual fact that they're doing that? That's exactly right, Luke. That's what they're trying to do. El Dente says, how funny would it be if they sell it for $60? Priceless. Be so priceless. You know, it'd be the biggest middle finger to the industry if GTA 6 got sold at 60. Yeah, that's what El Dente. Kylo says, my car this morning said 0 degrees. That's why I live in Florida. To be fair, though, Kylo, 40 degrees is like 0 degrees for me. Like, it's fucking cold. Yeah, it feels colder than that. So it's 40 degrees right now, but it supposedly feels like 30, 31 degrees. And it's at this like sprinkle. Like if it drops a couple degrees, we could potentially see snow flurries here in my area. Okay, but I don't think it's going to happen, but it's snowing. It's snowing in North Florida right now. Feels like minus 13 Fahrenheit. Gee Christ. Travis says 30 degrees in Texas is like basically the night in the desert. Yeah, great. Fucking cold here. Kylo says 40 right now would be a nice summer day. I mean, each their own. The Gators are like, what happens right now, Travis? So right now, I don't know what it is in South Florida, but we have a infestation of iguanas. Okay, so within the next couple days, you're going to see a lot of videos popping up in your social media feeds, okay, of iguanas that, because they're warm-blooded or cold-blooded, and they need warm to, like, animate, lots of iguanas, they freeze, right? And they fall out of the trees, and they fall, and they're just on the ground, and they'll be frozen, okay, because they're like in hibernation. And what'll happen is people think they're dead, and they'll pick them up, and they'll put them in their cars, and they'll put them in places, and then all of a sudden they come back to life because of the warmth. Okay, so once the sun comes out and starts to warm them up, or the temperature rises, all these iguanas that are not native here, and they're as far up as, I want to say, like Jupiter, which is like halfway between me and like South Florida where my parents live, they all come animated again. It's pretty wild. Window says, I wish I had 30 degrees. I mean, I wish we were back up to 60. So we each have our wishes. Travis says, I gotta come visit sometime other than the beach. Beaches suck. Yet it's the only place that friends want to go. I'm not a big beach guy. I like the beach. I like the ocean. I hate the sand. I hate the sand. All right, so we're done with that. Let's go for the next story, which is another story about Marvel Rivals. El Dente says, not me. Hearing between me and Jupiter. I'm like, holy hell, that's far. Yeah, not the planet. Not the planet, El Dente. Yeah, the place called Jupiter, Florida. All right, so Marvel Rivals. Wait a minute. I gotta break out a little piece of Marvel Rivals here. I gotta cut out just the Marvel Rivals section. For this next story, we're talking about 6 new Marvel Rival heroes leaked with 5 more X-Men. From Capsule to Widow's Sting. Each legend here makes the cosmos sing. The storm, lightning cracks the sky. Strange blends of the story comes from Forbes. Rage and doubles, unstoppable force while Panther prowls, holding his course. Marvel Rivals, the legends unite. All right. So the six new Marvel Rival heroes leaked with 5 more X-Men. Now, listen, I don't know when these characters are all supposed to come out. All these leaks with all these different heroes. We're now up to 6 more heroes on top of the 19 or 20 that were leaked before. That's 26 additional heroes that are leaked right now. Now, obviously, if we're only getting 1 every 6 weeks, that's 8, right? That's 8 more for the year, and it's 10 total. Wait, is it? No, it's 6 more for the year and 10 total for the year with the 4 with the 4 Fantastic Four characters that they've already announced, right? 2 already in the game, 2 more coming, and then 6 more throughout the year, right? So we have 10 total characters. I can't imagine that with 26 leaked characters, okay, that we're not getting more heroes per season, right? Yeah, 1 every 6 weeks minimum. Yeah, yeah. So let's read this from Paul Tassi. He says, all right, I'm starting to be not clear on exactly what's going on here with Marvel Rivals before today. We have seen what's supposed to be roughly 2 years of leaked heroes, right? Right. Minimum 2 years. No, it's more than that, because if it's 8, yeah, no, it's 8, 3 years. If it's 8 characters every 6 weeks, if you remove the Fantastic Four, it would have been 2, right? And then 6 more. So it would have been 8 total for the year. Okay. So now we're up to 26 characters. If we're up to 26 characters, that's literally 3 years of content. I don't know, right? I'm confused as well, but let's read on. Okay. It says, given that 1 releasing every month and a half, 2 per season, and now we're adding 6 more to that list. Based on the new leaks, including another 5 main team X-Men. The leak comes from always reliable XOX leak, and we now have these 6 heroes, right? So now Gambit is a duelist, Rogue is a strategist, Jubilee, we don't know where that is. Okay, she's gonna shoot fireworks at you. She's gonna pew 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 pew. Okay, we have Beast, we have Nightcrawler, and we got the Hood. Okay, we've already heard of the Hood. All right, Hood was already leaked before, so we'll remove that. So we have 5 new ones that are coming out as leaked characters. Now, again, take this with a grain of salt. Doesn't mean they're coming to the game, but it's just interesting, right? So we're just having a conversation about it. The 5 different X-Men, big names this time around, which joined 5 other X-Men heroes or villains coming, allegedly according to the past leaks. That bridges the current leak total up to a whopping 22. Oh, is it 22? See, I thought it was 26. Okay, so 2/3 of what the game launched with. As a reminder, there are other leaked heroes that have not arrived in the game yet, with no confirmed order or timeline. Okay, so we have Cyclops, Professor X, Colossus, Jing, Locust, Pasty Pot Pete. Okay, Hitmonkey, Deadpool, Captain Marvel, Emma Frost, Phoenix / Jean Grey, Valkyrie, MODOK, Ultron, Blade. I could have sworn there was another couple ones in there. Okay, but you have all of these now. It says, could we really be seeing the next almost 3 years of characters this far out? I'm starting to have my doubts here, and maybe the case is that all of these don't end up making the production. 37 heroes as of the season, plus 22 more leaked, brings us to 59 heroes, blowing past Overwatch. Stop. We need to stop comparing this to Overwatch and other hero shooters, okay? This is a completely, I've said it before, and I'll say it 1,000 times again. These are already established characters in a IP that's been around for 85 plus years, like 86 now, okay? 85 plus years of Marvel characters out there, okay? Overwatch is 9 years old, okay? 9 years old of brand new characters they've created from scratch in their universe that they're trying to make. Let's fast forward 80 years, right? 80 years from now, if Overwatch has 70 characters in their repertoire of in their game, and they've made a television show and a movie, and they've made some comic books and whatnot, we can look back on this and go, Overwatch is 80 years old and they have 70 characters, right? That would be what it is. They're comparing something that's 9 years old to something that is 80 plus years old with all the characters and comics and movies and shows. It's ridiculous, right? If you're comparing it just as the video game, sure, but you can't, because the people that are coming to the video game are established characters and have been loved, okay, or hated, or not known, or, you know, increasingly known by most of the nerds and geeks in the world that watch, read any kind of book, graphic novel, whatever you want to call them, okay? There's way more characters. Again, before this game even came out, I said that this game needs to have a minimum of 40 characters at launch. They almost hit it, but not quite, okay? And then on top of that, they need to bring out as many heroes as possible, because that's the type of game this should be. Everyone's worried about, what am I going to do about the competitive scene? And I don't know how I'm going to play all these characters. And they got to nerf this guy because I don't know how to use him yet. So I'm going to bitch and moan about it, right? Like, just just do what this game is supposed to do and stop comparing it to Overwatch, right? So it says it's becoming League of Legends. Sure, it's becoming League of Legends, but why are we comparing it to others, right? Maybe it ends up being the case that some of these heroes have story components, but there's actually going to be a playable heroes. This really seems like there's only an explanation other than we're seeing the next 3 years of content. As NetEase has confirmed, the 2 heroes is season number, but a large number of these heroes are already starting to have movements leaked, which also could indicate that those characters are in fact playable. That's essentially all the X-Men plus Pasty Pot Pete, Ultron, and maybe a few others have also been missed. So it doesn't seem like it's possible that all these heroes are going to show up, which is pretty wild to think about. Okay, the more heroes, the better. And Lord knows there are dozens and dozens of big and small Marvel characters to get through here. Some very small, if not throwing Pasty Pot Pete in here. I hope NetEase can balance all of these given the rapid pace where they're being released. But I also look forward to seeing them arrive, particularly at the art, given the excellent animation in the game. So here's the thing. I've said this on GXG. I've said this on other previous things. Do they have Professor? They do have Professor X. The thing I was talking about is that the more you put in, it doesn't matter if 2 characters are similar, right? If they're similar, right? If you bring in Juggernaut and Colossus, they're both tanks. Maybe their movesets are different. Maybe you bring in She-Hulk, and She-Hulk's maybe just a little bit too much like Hulk, not a skin, like an actual character. Maybe you bring in Captain Marvel, which is almost like someone else. It doesn't matter because you might not like Captain Marvel. You may not like Juggernaut. You may not like Cyclops, okay? But somebody does. Somebody's not, right now, is not playing the game or is a huge fan. They are playing the game, but they're waiting for Cyclops to come in, or they're waiting for Juggernaut to come in, or they're waiting for Captain Marvel to come in. It doesn't matter if their abilities are the same, because if you like that character, and let's say they're almost exactly the same with just a little bit difference, someone that likes Colossus is going to be like, man, I can't believe they have my favorite character in this video game. I've been waiting so long. The last time I got to play Colossus was Ultimate Alliance, and before that, it was the arcade game, okay, of X-Men. Now they can come and play the game, or Juggernaut, or maybe they bring in Doctor Doom, and that is the biggest appeal to this. Someone that's not playing the game right now is waiting for their character to come in. On the top of that, okay, on top of that is if they bring in a character like Pasty Pete, okay, if that's the one character coming in every 6 weeks, do you think Pasty Pot Pete is going to be a real puller for people to come in and be like, oh my God, did you see who they're bringing in? Pasty Pot Pete this season. Everyone's like, oh man, I can't wait to play him. Let's be real here, okay? You can't bring him in by himself. He's got to come in with a group of people, right? You're definitely not bringing him in and then another person that's obscure in the game. You're going to bring him in with a massive character like Cyclops. You're going to bring him in with Professor X, okay? You're going to bring in someone that's not known with people that are known, and then people will start spreading and go, oh, I'm going to try him out, okay? That's how you bring people into the game, okay? So someone like Cyclops, there's been leaks about Professor Xavier's school, okay, coming into there, right? So with that, you would think they would bring in X-Men characters. If they are bringing in Gambit, Rogue, Jubilee, right? And then maybe halfway through the season, they bring in another 3 characters. That would be smart, okay? If they're leaking all of these characters, and all of these characters are the next 3 years out, I think that's a big missed opportunity from NetEase. I understand it takes time to make these characters. I understand time to balance the characters and throw them in. But with live service games and the way they are, and games are being fixed over the next 18 to 24 months, this game is constantly going to be updating, constantly going to be making adjustments and whatnot. And the team mechanics with the team-ups change the whole dynamic of the game. So right now, someone like Scarlet Witch and Magneto that might be overpowered because of the team based on the talent that's using them might be OP, but then next season, they're not the same. So that changes the whole landscape. So again, I'm going to stay by it. Add as many heroes as possible. Add as many characters and abilities as possible. Make it a fun fighting game. Don't worry about the competitive scene, because you could always make the competitive scene different from the rest of the quick play matches and the PvE, if they add PvE, to make this game one of the best Marvel games in existence. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. If you like what I'm doing here, please make sure you check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, chat. Let me see what you guys are saying. I can't imagine Another 5 characters are leaked now, right? Another 5 characters. Let me see what you guys are saying. Kylo, that's Jupiter, Florida. 1 every 6 weeks. Yeah, Luke says. At some point, they're going to take the entire start of the match and scroll through the hero list. God, Nightcrawler would be a blast to fight. But that's my point right there, Jason, right? Just seeing Nightcrawler, you're like, dude, I would totally into that, right? So if you weren't already a fan of the game, Nightcrawler would bring you into the game, wouldn't it? And that's exactly why they need to bring as many characters in as possible, in my opinion. Altern says, wait, the paste pot Pete is real character? I thought you made him up. No, it's a real character. He's a guy that shoots glue out of it. I'd never heard of him before. They showed him in that video that we watched. Leo says, but it has Overwatch menus. Yeah, they straight up stole Lucio's Rocket League, right? Even though they stole it from Rocket League themselves and then put Overwatch in Rocket League. Now these guys just straight up took it for their event. I never heard of the Hood. Don't understand that character. I don't either. But someone knows the Hood house, and they might be excited now because he might be coming to the game. What's going on, L? What's going on, Rowick? There's no snow here, Rowick, where I'm at. It's in northern Florida, but it's still crazy. It's cold here. It's cold here for a Floridian. Luke says, make League of Legends Marvel clone with 200 characters. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Luke. Put as many in as possible. Then you'll have people complaining, I can't level up all the characters. You're like, okay. Prada House says the Thing leaks seem like he's going to feel like a lot like Hulk. And I think that's okay, though, House. I think that's okay. Because if you're a person that's not a fan because it's too similar to Hulk, then you don't play him. You play somebody else, right? It's not like you're paying to get the Thing. The Thing is free in the game, right? He comes in for free. But now, let's say someone knows how to play the Hulk. Well, you can't have the Hulk 2 times in the match. But now someone wants to be the Hulk, but they can't be the Hulk, but now they can be the Thing. And now you have the Thing and the Hulk and Venom. And let's say they bring Juggernaut in. And now you have 4 massive tanks and people that actually master those characters. How good is that for the character, for the person playing that character? They're like, well, I couldn't play Hulk, but now I'm playing the Thing. I can't play the Thing, so I'm playing Venom. I can't play Venom, so I'm playing Juggernaut. Ron says, I just want Howard the Duck. I mean, let's manifest it, Ron. Put it up on a board, right? Take a picture of Howard the Duck, right? Put it up on the board and manifest it. Think about it and be like, you know what? Howard the Duck is coming to the game. I think it's going to happen. I'm going to manifest it for you. Ron says, what about Peter Porker? Sure, why not? Bring him in. That would be funny, Luke, if he's an April Fool's drop. That would be fucking hilarious. That would be a good way to bring him in. That's actually a really good way to bring him in. They're like, hey, drop just a random character. It's Pasty Pot Pete. The maps and events would take longer? Do you mean because they're working on characters, they would take longer? I mean, I think the people that are making the maps would be different from the people making the characters, right? El says, I love Marvel Rivals. I think it's great. El. I'm really excited if they add a PvE mode. If you add a PvE game mode, right, that'll be the perfect game for me. Right, MODOK's coming in. See? El's excited for MODOK. That's my point, though. You know what I mean? El says, Howard the Duck is probably coming. Yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't be. Oh, he's definitely going to say that. They are so good at getting the source material and whatnot, House. I can't imagine the Thing not saying it's clobbering time. Come on, he has to say that, right? If he doesn't say that, that'd be a massive L for the devs, because they have like absurd references inside the game already. The other day, when we were playing with Mr. Luke, he was Thor, and Thor talked about the two referencing of the animals that pull the cart. Give me 1 second. My dog's barking at something. I didn't know what he was barking at. Oh yeah, they're definitely Marvel fans. Massive X-Men drop. I'm telling you, man. Imagine this, right? And again, I don't want to hype anybody up because it's not going to happen. I'm just saying, imagine that when the Marvel X-Men Xavier School comes into the game as a map, not only are they dropping, they're not dropping just 2 and 2 for the season, but they're dropping 4 and 4. They'll drop 8 characters just in one season, right? How crazy would that be? Now, I've said this in the beginning. I said I think they should drop 4 characters a season minimum. I actually said 4 to 6 because if a new season starts, I want to see all the brand new characters on each of the teams, because if someone picks a new character, you're like, I can't be that character. Be like, oh, but I'll pick this other character that's brand new and try them out. Like, that's what I think they should do, right? I think they have a way of doing it. Now, obviously, I don't know how many devs they have. I don't know how many people they have working for the studio and what their work ethic is. I don't know if they're doing slave labor camps like it's been exposed for Ubisoft and whatnot, okay? But as a consumer, that's none of my business, okay? Now, I do think they're trying to keep expectations low, hence why they said that one guaranteed 1 every 6 weeks, right? Guaranteed 1 every 6 weeks, but it doesn't say they're not giving you more than 1 every 6 weeks. It just says you are getting a new hero, at least 1 every 6 weeks, which is absurd, right? Under promise, over deliver. That's what they can do here, okay? Under promise, over deliver. They don't have to give you, maybe next season's a slow season. Maybe they only give the 2. But then the 3rd season comes out. All of a sudden, it's the X-Men theme type of thing. And all of a sudden, they drop 6 characters. And you'd be like, whoa. They dropped 4 for Fantastic Four. They only dropped 2 in season 2. But then they dropped 6 in season 3. That would be pretty cool if they did stuff like that. But we'll see. We'll see. I think it would be dumb if they just leaked, and obviously they're not leaking it, right? It's data mined or whatnot, but it would be dumb to me that 22 characters are data mined, and this is over the next 3 years, with thousands of characters you can pick from, and you're only giving that many over the next 3 years. How many characters are in Ultimate Alliance? I forget. How many characters, how many heroes in number of playable characters in Marvel Ultimate Alliance games varies. 3 This game has 118 characters and locations. They don't have 118 characters in 3, do they? No. The game features over 140 characters from Marvel's universe, but that's total, isn't it? Ultimate Alliance 3. How many characters do they have? Alliance 3 has nearly 50 playable characters. 50 playable characters in Ultimate Alliance 3. Right? That's what you need. Right? I'm telling you, they should have started out with 40 and then build up from there. They're building up to 40. Oh yeah, they can do whatever they want, House. That's not a bad idea though, right? So they bring on one for the first like the beginning of the season. They bring another one in for the mid-season, and they do an event, and all of a sudden they drop another character. Just that's what they do. Yeah, total throughout all the multiple Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I think it's 150 characters. It started off with 36 playable characters for Ultimate Alliance 3, and then when they added the rest of them, it's 50. So they added an additional 14. How come there wasn't a whole bunch of characters, a whole bunch of articles going, Ultimate Alliance brought in 50 characters. Oh my God, it's unheard of. How are they gonna do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's a huge, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Let me open up this. This is what you need, right? Oh, not working. I want this as you know what? Let me get the image instead because this is not, for some reason it's not opening. Right? This is what you need, right? Like this should be minimum. Minimum. This is what it should be. I don't know how many there are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12, 24, 48, 48, 60. You got 63, 66, 69, 70 characters. 70 characters. Look at all the heroes you could bring into the game, right? Right? You bring in Vision, you bring in Falcon, you bring in you got to bring in the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxies, right? You got to bring in Gamora and Drax, right? You got to bring in these characters. Ant-Man, come on, Ant-Man and Wasp, those would be some cool characters to bring into the game. Okay, Bullseye, bring Bullseye, you got Beast, you got Gambit, you got Nightcrawler, you got Jean, you got Mystique. Mystique would be cool, right? It's sort of like a Loki character where you can steal people's abilities and stuff. Like that's her whole ability set. She just keeps shifting and shaping for confusion. Like, think about how cool that would be. Mystique comes in. Her ability is literally every 15 seconds, she could take someone else's ability and look like that person to throw in some, like, chaos in the mix. Okay? Then you got Juggernaut. You can put in Miss Marvel. Okay? Who else do you got here? Iceman. Bring in Iceman. You bring in Cable. Deadpool. Right? Then you got Thanos and his crew. Come on, Doctor Doom. So many characters that you can do. Oh, Ant-Man would be cool. This is the way I want to know, House. How would it work? Would you just shrink down into like a little thing? Or would the screen get really large and it brings you in as an Ant-Man, but everyone around you is gigantic? You know what I mean? Because you just shrunk yourself down. That would be a cool... I don't know how they would do it. I think they would do it the easy way where just shrink you down and then you would fly around. Okay? But it'd be really cool if everything around you gets gigantic and you shrink down. That would be cool. Right? They have Morbius in here. You got Nova. Come on. So many good characters that you could bring in. No, Deadpool's not in the game. They reference him a couple times. He's got a banner that you can pay for Deadpool. But Deadpool's not in the game. 100% should be in the game. 100%. Right? Luke Cage, you can bring Luke Cage in. Jessica Jones, you bring Jessica Jones in. Hey, Daredevil, come on. There's so many different people you could bring in. And again, they can be similar in other abilities. Like, for instance, let's just take the Spider universe, right? Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and then Spider-Gwen. All pretty much the same type of... They would have the same abilities and whatnot, for the most part, okay? But maybe someone doesn't want to play Spider-Man, but they really like Miles Morales. Boom, Miles Morales is in the game. They play Miles Morales. They really like Gwen. They come in, they start using Spider-Gwen instead, right? Oh, I didn't even think about that. Well, we did not today, though, right? All the Spider villains. I talked about Doc Ock. Doc Ock would be a great character to bring into Marvel Rivals. He would be like Groot mixed with Mr. Fantastic, mixed with Venom. The way that their arms like stretch out, that's what you do for Doc Ock. But you make him like Venom, where he's got the tentacles coming off his back, obviously. Okay, but his length of reach is, and he can like hold somebody and like hit them. You know what I mean? There's so many possible things you could do with these characters, right? Ghost Rider's here, right? You got Elektra, right? There's so many characters you could bring in, and it would all be really badass because those people are just waiting for that character to come in. Yeah, Green Goblin would have been fantastic. What if during the match an NPC character shows up walking around that hasn't been released yet, just to tease you who's coming next? That would be cool. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to implement Doom, but they have to bring Doom into the game. They got to bring Doom into the game. Right? You can bring in Sinister. Toad? Toad would be cool. Right? Fast moving. Grabs you and pulls you in with his tongue. Got Pyro, which is the same as like Johnny Storm, but Johnny Storm flies, Pyro doesn't, type of thing. There's so many. Right, Lizard, Scorpio, Rhino. Rhino would be sort of like Juggernaut, right? But that would be okay. Mysterio, that'd be good. What's going on, Eclipse? Dolphin says Nightcrawler needs to join. I think Nightcrawler would be a really cool addition. I think Nightcrawler would be a really good addition because they talked about, I forget one of the other characters they were talking about. I didn't know the person. Angelina or something like that. Or Angel, whatever. Where she like teleports out. Like Nightcrawler would be sort of like a healer. But he's not really healing you. But he helps you like all of a sudden he could pick you up and teleport like 3 of you guys to the point. Which is different than like what Doctor Strange can do where he opens up a portal and you can come through the portal. Nightcrawler can just grab you and then bring you to a location and boom, all of a sudden you're in the point. Okay? That would change the whole dynamic of the game. Because all of a sudden you're waiting and you're like, oh yeah, everyone pushes up. And you're like, oh, I hate when they push up and you can't get behind them anymore because they pin us back. All of a sudden you have Doctor Strange where he can make a portal across the place and they can get behind you. But now you have Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler can just all of a sudden pick you up and push you out. Now think about it. They have Mystique and Nightcrawler. All of a sudden Nightcrawler takes Mystique, puts Mystique out there. Mystique now takes one of the abilities of the other characters, and now you think your Punisher or you think your Loki is your Loki, but he's really not your Loki. He's now Mystique, and he's doing damage or whatnot and takes your ability. Like, there's so many different possibilities that you can do with the team-ups. And that's the big factor of the game. I got tons of ideas. Okay, I got tons of ideas that they can do. And honestly, I don't care if each of the characters feels similar to the other character. Just the little differences between them would be enough. It changes the whole dynamic. There's a couple of tweaks they have to make with the actual destruction of the map and whatnot. Yeah, Carnage and Venom team up would be crazy. That'd be great as well. I can see it now. The next Avengers will start, and the first thing we see is that the shark will get PTSD. Well, aren't they making an X-Men season 2 of X-Men 97 season 2? Maybe they bring it in with that. Maybe that's coming around. Maybe they're using these characters to cross-promote. Obviously, they're bringing Fantastic Four. You already see what they're doing to market the game. They want you to go see the new Captain America film. And then if you go watch that and get the ticket from Regal, then you get stuff within the game. Obviously, they're going to probably do the same thing with Fantastic Four. They're already getting you prepared why the Fantastic Four is already in the game much earlier than the actual movie coming out because they want you to play and get the hype up. And when they bring the thing and that, they could start doing promotions. Maybe they do an event, right? Again, I don't know if they're doing this, but maybe they do an event inside the game with the Fantastic Four based off what's happening in the movie, right? Maybe it's a mission that the Fantastic Four, it's just a PvE type event, and you're going up against the Red Hulk, right? Or maybe you're doing something, you know what I mean? Maybe you're going up against Doctor Doom. I don't know who the bad guy is that they're going to bring in. You would think it would be Doctor Doom, but that is what you would hope that they're kind of doing with this cross-promotion type thing with Marvel Rivals. Do some sort of event mixed in with the movies that are coming out. Brave New World, boss fight against the Red Hulk. Right? All of a sudden, Fantastic Four comes out. There's an event where you're the Fantastic Four and you have to go up against the bad guy. So many things they could do with this game and cross-promote and bring in characters. I think it would be cool if they did bring in Falcon and Red Hulk. Not just the skin. Obviously, Red Hulk is Red Hulk. Okay? But bring those characters into the game once the movie comes out. And then all of a sudden now, the Fantastic Four comes out. We already have them in the game, so bring other people out. Silver Surfer would be cool. I was saying the other day, Ron, that if they brought in Iceman, I think Iceman would be really, really cool, right? Because Silver Surfer's flying on the board, but how? And I always think from a game perspective, I don't know how it would work, right? But it'd be really cool if Iceman came in the game and his traveling is making the walkways, the ice, right? So that could bring a whole different dynamic into the game because now not Silver Surfer, Iceman can make the paths as he's flying, and it stays up there for a bit, so it blocks people's ways, and then you could break his little ice bridges that he makes. Okay, there's so many different things you could do, right? You already have Luna who freezes people, so you can already bring that ability with him. I always try to look at what they can bring in, what's already based in the game. There's already abilities that freeze people and the tentacles that come off, so you can implement another character that has tentacles like Doc Ock. You could always bring in someone that has ice abilities. My son was like, "Why don't they have these characters like in the game?" I got all sad. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously, I'm hyped because I think they could bring in a lot more characters just basing on other games. They could bring in a lot of these characters. The more the merrier. The more the merrier. Obviously, none of this could happen, right? None of this could happen. But it would be dumb if it didn't. It'd be a missed opportunity years down the road, 3 years, 4 years now, if the game is still around and still popular or whatever, and we're like, man, they missed the ball. All they had to do was add these characters. I'd be all hands on deck. All hands on deck. Add as many people as possible. Like, live for today, not for tomorrow, right? If I was a developer, I'd be like, what can we do to make this game the best today? And because you have so many characters to work with in the back, okay, how cool would it be if they brought in Spawn? Okay, even though he's not really, I mean, he is, but he isn't. But bringing a character like that over here, like, there's so many characters. I would be like, yeah, let's do 100 this year, right? Obviously, that's way too many, but let's do 40 this year. Let's do 40 next year. Let's get as many characters in this game as possible. Crowd says 86 years of stories, fellas. They can't do it all at once. I get it. But they don't have to make the stories, House. They just got to make the characters. They just got to make the characters. I'm not asking for the backstories. The backstories are already told. We're just asking for playable characters. Maybe stay away from crossover. Characters look at COD. That's different though. This is a superhero game, right? I don't want characters coming in like Nicki Minaj into Marvel Rivals. You know what I mean? But anyone that's been in the Marvel sphere over the years, it would be cool to bring in. Especially if you're going to bring in Pasty Pot Pete, Ron. Like, I don't know about Spawn. I really like Pasty Pot Pete. Yeah, if Cheech and Chong come in the game, we can boycott. We can boycott Dolphin. All right, the next story, which I'm a little confused on how you, and again, I don't know, I don't read the stories ahead of time. I looked at this title, and I was like, GeForce Now game streaming is sold out for many, which is a little weird. So we're gonna read this story. Al says the fact that Spawn isn't in Marvel has always held that character back. A shame. Yeah, I mean, it's a Todd McFarlane original character, right? I love it. I thought he was great. I thought the HBO show back in the day was great. That's a good question, right, Dolphin? How is a streaming service sold out? I would assume that they're out of space and they're expanding, is what I would think they're doing. Because, well, let's read the article. All right, if you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday. We just have conversations. If you like the conversations that we're having about gaming and entertainment and whatnot, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. So GeForce Now game streaming is sold out for many. Ow. Okay, users are unable to sign up for the streaming service as many popular tiers. Okay, though results may vary based on location. So NVIDIA GeForce Now is an easy and convenient way to play PC games if you don't actually have a gaming PC or can't fit a 30-pound desktop into your carry luggage. But at the moment, you're going to have a hard time getting into the server if you don't already have a subscription. Most of the options in GeForce Now are currently sold out due to high demand. Who said that streaming and cloud gaming would become the majority in 6 to 7 years? It's amazing how a streaming service is overrun and they ran out of high demand for servers. I can't think who that was. All right, so anyway, I'll think about it. According to the report, a computer based in Germany, Tom's Hardware, which shows new free accounts, day passes, and 1 month passes mostly unavailable. The site reports that 1 month and 6 month passes for Ultimate are still available, as well as the 6th month performance pass. My existing free account seems to be functioning, but others at the PC world are reporting that the option for creating a new GeForce Now account is currently blocked out at least some locations. Your experience might be different, and GeForce Now is highly variable based on location. Though GeForce Now is extremely flexible in terms of load and users, it isn't infinite. Each game session needs a dedicated Windows-based cloud machine to be spun up and activated, with the real graphics card powering it. A statement from NVIDIA said that the new accounts are being restricted to prevent overload, but our more detailed explanations wasn't provided. Okay. The reason for the current load isn't clear. It also seemed to me that the NVIDIA will get swamped by GeForce Now users at any time. It would also have been over a travel-heavy December holidays, and when used the service on my phone without any issues. If I had to guess, I would say that GeForce Now might be upgrading at least some of its data centers, and at least a new RTX 50 series GPUs are expected to hit retailers at the end of the month. So for GeForce Now users, those are would almost certainly be reserved for the most expensive Ultimate tier. To be clear, though, this is entirely speculative on my part, and we're keeping an eye on the situation. Look, if it is for leveling up the servers that they have, going from the 40 series to the 50 series, cool. It could also be that more people, because we already read an article like 3 weeks ago, that people over in Europe and whatnot, subscription services went up 12%. I think it was. It's like 12 or 15% more people were getting into subscription services, getting more of like a GeForce Now, getting more of a Game Pass, getting more of whatever service it is. These are all things that use servers, right? We do know that Nintendo and Sony, okay, both have deals with Azura, okay? We do know that GeForce Now is also using Windows-based stuff, okay? Microsoft is making money from all sides, not just from Xbox, right? So obviously more people are trying out GeForce Now, more people, and they're getting overloaded. Well, they had to stop selling stuff or having people sign up in certain areas. So maybe, again, this is all speculation. I don't know if this is actually happening, but let's say people in Brazil all of a sudden don't want to pay the high prices for gaming machines. So now they're playing GeForce Now on what they have, and they're paying for a subscription service. Maybe Brazil is getting overloaded, so now people in Brazil can't sign up for GeForce Now if you haven't done it already. Okay. These are little steps towards the bigger picture that I've been talking about for majority of the years, saying that cloud gaming will be moving. And it's been about a year and a couple of months since I said 6 and 7 years. So now it's 5 to 6 years before I say, and again, the majority doesn't have to be 90%. The majority doesn't have to be 60%. The majority only has to be 30%, 33%. And the reason I say this is because there's the console market, there's the PC market, there's the mobile market, right? And now there's the cloud market. And if the cloud market gets just that little percentage higher, it doesn't need the higher, bigger chunk. It just needs a chunk of what's being spread around. So in my vision, right, I believe that cloud gaming, the more and more digital becomes a thing, before subscription models become a thing, before more people adopt it, because now exponentially is going to get higher and higher, they're going to go more towards NVIDIA. Hence why NVIDIA's stock is going up, not because just of the GPUs, but also because of GeForce Now. Okay, lots of stuff going on behind the scenes So it's interesting to see that GeForce Now and streaming is on a hold for a bit. It might be a couple days, might be a couple weeks, who knows? But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think about GeForce Now being sold out for many in different regions? Again, it all based on what the region that you're in. But let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, please make sure you check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Dolphin says, I think I said it first. Maybe you did, but maybe I wasn't live when you said it. Yeah. Ron says, cloud gaming is the future. Just deal with it. Mr. Luke says they use it in-house build PCs and they play them remotely. Ron typed into it AI and then predicted it. Arga says you don't even need a gaming laptop to play PC games on a high settings of 120 frames. I get that at work laptop, and I can't play any of the can't play any games with the GeForce Now. Ron says Game Pass does work on GeForce Now. It does. Yep. And Microsoft worked with NVIDIA, so Game Pass could work on GeForce Now. Yeah, there's so much things going behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about that are in the console war, Argus. They're like, oh, this is better than that. Well, obviously, Nintendo and both Sony are using the Azura program. I'm pretty sure. Right? Let me look that up real fast. I remember reading an article. Sony and Nintendo. Let's see, with Microsoft. Let's see here. Here it says, while Sony and Microsoft have publicly announced a partnership to explore cloud gaming solutions together, there's currently no confirmed information about Nintendo actively collaborating with Microsoft in the same way regarding cloud gaming. However, Microsoft does have a capability to provide cloud infrastructure to any company, potentially including Nintendo, if they I could have sworn Nintendo is using Azura. Are they not? Let me see. Nintendo reportedly also looking to rely on Microsoft Cloud. That was in 2019. Nintendo may have streamed Switch games via Microsoft Cloud servers. Nintendo and Microsoft partnership could also extend into cloud gaming. That was in 2019. So we've talked about it before. So there's nothing official with Nintendo, but Sony is using Microsoft. Ron says Cloud Wars is next. Oh, for sure. We've joked about that. Al says, I wonder if next Xbox will go NVIDIA, guys. I mean, it could. And, what does that look like? A lot of people want to, beat that drum of, like, because the majority of the people playing Xbox is not on a console and potentially moving their games to more platforms, that Microsoft or Xbox is dead. And, I don't drink that Kool-Aid. I believe that they're adapting, and I always make the analogy of what Obi-Wan did in New Hope, right? Like, he has the Force, and he's an entity, right? But once he gets killed, he becomes more powerful when he's actually not physical, right? And that's the way I look at Xbox, right? Xbox was there, and he could do stuff, right? Like, but now, because Xbox is going more digital, they're going where they could be everywhere. So the Force is everywhere, right? Cloud gaming is everywhere. Xbox is trying to go everywhere. And that's the way I've always said that's what they're trying to do. That's the only way, in my opinion, that Xbox fails is if technology says, no, we're not going this direction. Well, the industry says otherwise. The industry leaders, okay, and I'm not talking about industry leaders as far as like Xbox and Sony. I'm talking about the global world says we're going this direction. We are going cloud. We are going digital. We are going in this direction with things. We're going AI. Okay. Like they're pushing it towards that way. And they decide what we do as consumers, we pay for stuff. But if they decide it all at once that we're going this direction, then that's what we do. We're like, yeah, we're going that direction, right? They told us we were going digital, and we're like, no, we're buying physical. And then they stop selling physical. And then you can't purchase physical because you have urges and you're like, well, I want to play video games, but I can't get this video game in physical form, but I can get it in digital form. They're like, well, I can't get a digital form because I refuse to buy a digital console, but I'm going to buy a digital thing and rent it or stream it. And that's exactly how it works. Arga says, I wish Xbox would move over to NVIDIA products and AMD. Eclipse says, is that Phantom Zero game only on PlayStation? Because, man, I could also have had Black Myth Wukong numbers if it was on PC. What is Phantom Zero? You're only a master of evil, Sony. If you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you could ever imagine. Yeah, I just feel, again, I don't have a horse in the race here, right? I'm just a gamer that looks at all of the stuff that's going on. Okay. And I see the problems of both sides. I see the success on both sides. As a gamer, I don't care if it's on PC. I don't care if it's on Xbox or Sony or Nintendo. I'm going to play where I want to play video games. Okay. I see where the future's going. I see that this is where they're trying to push. Obviously, multi-plat's been a thing. If it wasn't a thing, then Sony wouldn't be putting their games on PC, right? Console sales are dropping. If it wasn't, then these companies wouldn't be putting their games on PC. Okay, now Nintendo has a buffer, right? Nintendo has a buffer, and the buffer is kids from like birth to 14. Okay, the buffer is the kid market, and the kid market's always been really good for Nintendo because they were there at the start of this industry. Okay, where PlayStation came in and said, you know what, we're gonna go and shoot for younger teens, right before teens, right, to teenagers, to young 20s. So they take him over. It's like the baton gets tossed over. Well, it doesn't matter if the baton gets tossed over to Sony and they pick up the people after they come into Nintendo. When my joke always is that Nintendo gives you a Nintendo at birth and you turn it in when you die. Okay, so that's from birth to death. Okay, if that's from 0 to 99, if that's 0 to 80, whatever it is, everyone loves Nintendo. You start off at Nintendo and then you pass the baton off and you move on up to Sony, or you move on over to PC, or you move on over to Xbox, and that's the way it works. All right, so we're done talking about Marvel Rivals. We're done talking about the tariffs. We're done talking about GeForce Now. We have another story. Another story talking about Bungie reportedly wanted to make single-player games instead of more live service titles. Well, that's crazy. I've been working on Destiny live service game for 10, 15 years now. Okay. So if you guys like what I do here, please make sure you share, like, subscribe. We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. Okay, so Bungie reportedly wanted to make a single-player games instead of more live service titles, but Sony said, I don't know if this is what they're saying. I'm just saying, right? Sony's saying, no, we need you to help us make live service games. Okay, so rumor have surfaced suggesting that Bungie developers want to work on single-player projects, but none of these ideas are being approved. Bungie has still been working on Destiny 2 since 2017, launched pioneering some elements of live service trends, and remained popular in 2025. As the company has proven successful in this avenue and seems to see far less room for experiment when it comes to game format. So many fans of Destiny 2 enjoy the game's take on the live service model, and Destiny franchise has dominated the genre for years, and the popularity may only diminish in the sequel as is announced. Regardless, some still have hopes that AAA developer Bungie will make a return to its roots with games focused on the single-player experience. It appears that a possibility for the future is further off than some imagine. So Destiny Bolton owner Zuhan Ali, shares that while writing a story last year, he was informed that many of the developers at Bungie expressed a desire to work on a single-player focused game instead of continuing to embrace live service. Well, here's the funny part, right? You got the job because, like, you never worked for Bungie before, right? Bungie has been making Destiny for the last decade, longer than a decade, really. They've been out for a decade, but they've been working on it for 15 years from when they started to what they're at now. So, you know, 2010, 2011 is when they started working on Destiny. Now, you would assume that most people that work for the company probably aren't still there 15 years later. It's probably a rotating door. People come in and out. Maybe they've been there for 5 years, 7 years. Maybe they came on in Destiny 2 and they're tired of working. But now people that came in the last couple of years, they're like, man, I would love working for Destiny. I would love working for Bungie because I love live service games. I can't wait to work on Bungie or Destiny 2 or Destiny 3 or whatever it is. And now you're all of a sudden going, man, I really want to work on a single player game. This is what I look at when 343 changed their name to Halo Studios. Imagine working for Halo Studios and going, man, I really want to work on a different game. Well, you're at Halo Studios, so you're probably only going to be making Halo games, right? You're working at Bungie, and Bungie is known for Destiny, known for Destiny 2, known for their live service games. So Ali notes that when developers try to pitch ideas that were designed to be less risky on a smaller scale, possibly to use up fewer resources, those projects were still shut down quickly. Chances are that the gamers won't see Bungie return to a single player for more time, especially considering that Bungie's ambitious next title Marathon is expected to show up sometime soon. I love the fact that we've heard this story even with Xbox when Arcane Studios was working on Redfall, and Redfall, they didn't want to work on Redfall. They're like, I don't want to work on Redfall. Then they got bought by Microsoft, and they're like, man, I can't wait for Microsoft to save us. And then no one saved them. They had to keep working on Redfall. And Microsoft was like, no, you're good. Just keep working on it. They're like, no, we're drowning over here. We don't really want to work on it, right? And now Bungie's like, man, we're working on Bungie. And Sony's like, we'll buy you up for $3 billion or $7 billion, whatever the fuck they paid for them, okay? They paid a shit ton of money for Destiny, and they're like, we're bringing you in because you're going to help us with our next venture of live service games, right? How many reports did we talk about that Bungie's going to save Sony? They're going to put all the things through Destiny or through Bungie, and Bungie's going to save Sony for their live service games. And then just this last couple of months, how many games have they canceled for the live service aspect? And now we have a story of rumor that Bungie has been trying to push and pitch single-player games. Do you really think someone that paid $3.2 billion for your company, overpriced, by the way, that they're going to let you work on single-player games when the reason they bought you was to help them make live service games? Probably not. So great management, great ownership over there by Bungie. So Bungie devs apparently wanted to make a single-player title, okay? So it doesn't seem like Bungie's plans for live service games are slowing down anytime soon. In addition to the development of Marathon, the team has also been hard at work on a new MOBA title, codenamed Gummy Bears. The teams working on the game has also been integrated into a new PlayStation studio, and reports state that the PlayStation exclusive Gummy Bears is similar ambitious, bearing some similarities to the Super Smash Bros. Series while attempting something fresh. Okay. The news is also that Bungie is still focusing on live service games. May be surprising to anyone observed on the growing list of canceled PlayStation live service titles that also include Bungie's own Destiny spin-off, codename Payback. These cancellations seem to reflect the overall assessment that many of these games would not have made back the amount of money invested in them. Even if they manage to survive long after the planned releases, it's possible that the shift sticks, and it could signal a change in the initiative, allowing developers at Bungie to pursue fleshing out various single-player concepts that are rumored to be floating around in that studio. Now, obviously, they could be pitching now. I would hope they're pitching, okay? But they have to see what happens first, because I don't think Sony, again, I'm thinking to myself, if I owned a business, if I have you working on something that's live service, which is Marathon, and I have you working on something else called Gummy Bears, they're both live service aspects, okay? Because we need that live service to work. I can't imagine okaying anything until Marathon or Gummy Bears comes out to see how they work. Because if Marathon fails, then they might say okay to a single-player game. And then you're looking 3 to 4 years out for a minimum of that. But if Marathon comes out and Marathon launches to the moon, okay, when it comes out, then Bungie's fate is sealed. They are sticking with live service games from here on out, right? And that's the way it's going to be, because that is what they paid for. Sony paid Bungie so they could help them with live service games. So I can't imagine them buying a live service studio that's very successful with the Destiny franchise to all of a sudden let them just go out about themselves making a single-player game. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. If you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Robert Jones says, also, have you guys seen the Dark Side Royale's long-awaited Bungie video? I have not. Sarge sent it to me, I think, yesterday, but I haven't watched it yet. It's like 2 hours long, isn't it? It's like an hour and 40 minutes long. I can't watch that on stream. That alone is a full stream. That would be a 3-hour stream of me stopping and pausing and talking about what's happening with Bungie. Kylo says, these guys always say Xbox is dead. Now all this news of how bad Sony messed up, they're literally getting a taste of their own medicine, and it's so great to see. Eclipse says, man, the new Black Widow outfit they announced, me liking. Oh, the one for the event? We do have a goal, guys. If anybody cares, we have a super chat thing. If we get 5 super chats, the people that give the 5 super chats can tell me what type of song they would like me to make. We do have a goal for that. I totally forgot that we even had a goal. We made a goal yesterday. I already made a Travis song. The Travis song got played yesterday. But if you guys want to hear another song, or you want a song created, if you do the super chat, we get 5 super chats. The people that do the super chats can decide what the song is about. You just give me a topic, and then I'll make a song for you guys. Yeah, I think it's funny that Bungie thinks that they're okay to make a single player game. They didn't buy you. They didn't buy Bungie so you can go make another single player game. They bought Bungie so they could make money off of live service aspects, because that is what Sony was missing. Sony was trying to look towards the future and said, man, it'd be a smart choice if we picked up Bungie for their monetization the way they do live service games. Let's bring them in. Dolphin says the next goal should be towards the farm. That would be more of a members goal type of thing, but I don't really like setting those things, right? If you want to be a member, be a member. If you don't want to be a member, don't be a member. That would be a lot, because I would have to. I guess I would have to film it ahead of time, because I can't do live stream. We don't have Wi-Fi out in the middle of the field. You know what I mean? So I would have to film it ahead of time and then show it to you. I guess we could do that. Maybe if I put up like a goal of super chats, maybe like 20 or something like that. Maybe we can do it. I'm not against it. I'm not against it, Dolphin. So what do you guys think about Bungie? Do you think that Sony's going to be like, yeah, go ahead, make that single player game? Well, I don't have to dox myself, but I mean, I can show you around, edit around it. You know what I mean? I just don't see it happening. Again, Marathon. If Marathon fails, then maybe they can do a single player game. But if Marathon succeeds, there's no way they're making a single player game. Even if it fails, it'll be a hard sell for them to get a single player game. Gotta get that Starlink Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's expensive. It's expensive. We actually looked into it because we have dead spots on the property. I thought it was more of a Smash Brothers game. That is the codename Gummy Bears game, but that's a live service game as well, Dolphin. I would assume it's like more multiverses / Smash Brothers type of thing. No, the Gummy Bears game is the Smash Brothers types game. Marathon is the extraction game. Gummy Bear, codename Gummy Bears, is the Smash Brothers multiverse type of game. No, you're good. You're good, Dolphin. All right, let me see. We got one more story, but I don't know if I should say this for tomorrow because I'll tell you, news stories are like slow right now. News stories are slow right now. There's a lot of non things going on. Yeah, there's not a lot going on. They're like holding off for some reason. Oh, Luke, you sent me that for the crosshair thing. I gotta fix that. I gotta fix that. Hilly says, "Do it now." Loads of news tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Something coming out tomorrow, Hilly? What's today? Wednesday? Tomorrow's Thursday. Is there something coming out? Oh, tomorrow is Xbox, right? Xbox Showcase is tomorrow. I totally forgot about that. See, I don't. I like keep my finger on the pulse, but I just don't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I forgot the Xbox Direct is tomorrow. What time is that? What time does that happen tomorrow? Is that while we're live, or is it after we're live? Yeah, Kylo. See, yeah, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I totally forgot. I don't know what time. Did I see it? I just proved to you guys that I don't plan my shows out ahead of time. Like my whole thing is when I'm done here, I log out. I'll edit a little bit. Okay. I do not look at stories. Honest to God, I read article titles and go, I'm gonna throw that into the Discord. You guys read article, and I see the ones that you post, and I'm like, I'll look at it later. I do not look or read any of these things. Okay. And then when I go live the next day, the hour before, 9:00 in the morning, I log in, I set up my stuff, I make the thumbnail, I go, okay, I'm gonna talk about that story, this story, that story. I make the thumbnail, okay, and then I put the stories in the thing. We go live, and then we start talking about them. I do not look or read about the stuff. I totally forget about some of the stuff that someone posts. I just look it down the list because there's so many stories most of the time. I'm just like, I'll talk about that, and that. That seems interesting. Ron says, what is Xbox? Well, look around your room, Ron. Everything's an Xbox. That thing right there. Wait. That thing right there. That's an Xbox. That's not a Millennium Falcon. That's an Xbox. The goalpost. That's an Xbox. The lightsaber over there. That's an Xbox. That ghost right there. That's an Xbox. Everything's an Xbox. That TV here right there. That's an Xbox. Yeah. Everything's an Xbox. Yeah. Like Dolphin's saying, Ron. Everything's an Xbox. Everything. Altern says, if you want to react to something, skill update a review on the next Hyper Light game. Oh, okay. Let's see what that is. What the Hyper Light thing is. Oh, I'm in the wrong. I gotta go to my other account. I go to my 30 and Still Gaming account. I don't see it. Okay. Up. Oh, there it is. I don't know if I'm interested in that. I don't know if I'm interested in that. Let's see what anything else. Here, you know what? Let me put it this way. Chat, are you guys interested in knowing about Hyper Light Breaker early access review? I don't know anything about the game, so we could watch it. Xbox Developer Direct starts Thursday at 10 a.m., 1 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, so I won't be live. So we won't talk. Oh God, we won't talk about that until DXG tomorrow night. Then maybe I could stay live. Back, give me a second. My dog's going ape shit, so I'm gonna go to a short break, and then I'll play some music for you guys, and I'll be back in a little bit.
OE games, you're at it again. Microtransactions, it's your favorite sin. Andrew Wilson, Android King, counting coins while the players scream. Every year it's the same old grind. Madden football, are you out of your mind? Repackaged junk, it's all a repeat. Selling nostalgia, incomplete. EA games, it's in the shame. Ultimate Team's your claim to fame. You don't care about us, it's all for greed. Pushing that pay-to-win speed. EA Sports FC 9 and 2. Copy and paste, that's what you do. So many IPs just left to rot. Oh, EA Games, have you forgot? Remember Star Wars, the Battlefront days? Could have been legends, but you lost your way. Loot box scandals, oh what a sight. Turn the galaxy dark overnight. Battlefield's another tale of woe. You had the crown, but let it go. Confusion reigns, what's the plan? Seems like you're winging it, man. EA Games, it's in the shame. Ultimate Team's your claim to fame. You don't care about us, it's all for greed. Pushing that pay-to-win speed. EA Sports FC 9 and 2. Copy and paste, that's what you do. So many IPs just left to rot. Oh, EA Games, have you forgot? You've got Dead Space, Dragon Age 2, Crysis Sims, what's the move? Burnout's parts, can't get a start. Anthem's dead, broke our hearts. So Android Wilson, take a bow. Your legacy's clear as it stands now. Games as a service, your golden rule. Players as wallets, we're just the fools. EA Games, it's in the shame. Ultimate Team's your claim to fame. You don't care about us, it's all for greed. Pushing that pay-to-win speed. EA Sports FC 9 and 2. Copy and paste, that's what you do.
All right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. He's going crazy out there. I know what the hell he saw. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch the Hyperlight thing. You like that song, Mo? Yeah. I have fun making these things, man. I have a couple ideas in my head for other ones. I was gonna do one about Halo games, about No Man's Sky. I was gonna do another one of the Cyberpunk ordeal that happened. I was gonna do one for the Game Awards. I got a bunch of different ones. Oh, did you want me to restart it? The problem with the rap ones, Dolphin, I've tried to do rap ones. I don't like the beats. I'm a big component on beats, right? And a lot of the beats that they make for the rap ones, they don't sound very good. Right? Here, I can let me bring up one. I did one. Actually, I think it was that song. I did that one with a rap song version. Yeah, EA Games. It's a shame. This is a hip hop one. I think this is the one. Let me see.
Oh, EA Games, you're at it again. Microtransactions, it's your favorite sin. Andrew Wilson, Android King, counting coins while the players scream. Every year, it's the same old grind. Madden football, are you out of your mind?
Yeah, I don't like that. And then there's this one.
Oh, EA Games, you're at it again. Microtransactions, it's your favorite sin. Andrew Wilson, Android King, counting coins while the players scream. Every year, it's the same old grind.
I don't like them. They have yet to do a good. They have yet to do a good rap beat. I've tried multiple times. I've tried to do the prompts, Kylo, for making it like a deep voice and whatnot. For some reason, it just doesn't want to do it. And you can't do. So you can't use real names. So you can't say like, make a song like Snoop Dogg, right? Or Dr. Dre. You can't say stuff like that. You would have to go about like what Mo's saying, like West Coast rap, type of stuff. There was another rap song. Let me see if I. It just doesn't do it right. Believe me, I've tried. Let me see. I know I have another one. This is the Hasbro one. Let me see if this one. No, that's. This is rap Jamaican. No, they're just they've never done a good one. No, not on this one. Yeah, it's weird. It's very strange the way it does it. When I get a good rap one, because I do take these songs and put them in different things, and punk sounds the best. Punk, a metal one like we did, the Hulk Smash one with the this has got a good beat. Like the Hulk Smash one. Listen to this one real fast. I like the way this sounds. Maybe they didn't steal rap music. Maybe. I don't know. Like, see, I like the way that sounds. Like, the way the beat just hits, man. Yeah. So the rap music doesn't sound very good yet. Or I can't find it when it does it. So, yeah, it is what it is. It's not because I'm not trying. Actually, I think I have. Hold on, I think I have one, but it's with I think I have one for Daily Grind. I think it's the Daily Grind or for GXG. Let me see. I got like 4 accounts. You only get like 5 a day, 5 attempts a day. We're doing Suno. I've tried other ones, but Suno seems like the best one to use so far with the music, the way it does. Some of the other ones sound too roboty. Oh, that's the one I just did. Oh, fuck. And I've written a bunch of different songs, but some of them, the way it makes the music, I don't like any of it. I don't like any of it, so I don't use them at all. All right, this one. Let me go. I think the one rap one was I think it was GXG was one we did. And it was decent. It was decent. Oh, it's the daily grind. I think this is it. Let me see.
Waking up, got a tune to the daily grind. Coffee steaming, got the focus on my mind. Gaming news, entertainment, what's the vibe? Live chat blowing up, let's do or die. From the streets to the screen, keep it real.
This is 1990s gangster rap.
Controllers clicking avatars on the rise. Morning podcast, hit the air, catch those prize. The daily grind where the podcast starts. Breaking news, breaking stats, throwing darts. Chats igniting like a spark in the dark. Morning crew, we the ones that hit the mark. Got the retro flow, pixels in my veins. Playing all night, dreams feel like terrain. Classic titles and the new school flames. Cover every scene in a dozen frames. From Mario to Madden, we discuss it all.
Here's another one. This is just instrumental. Oh, this is just instrumental. That's just a beat. That's just a beat. I was like, wait a minute. Let's see, I have one more, I think. Oh. Yeah, no, most of them I deleted. They're terrible. They're terrible. Yeah, I don't have it. Yeah, I like the beat, but the words got muffled. It's not clear enough. They all got a British accent. There's ones that have British accents. You can actually tell. That one didn't have a British accent. It's pretty uncanny what you can do. You got to be very specific. What you're typing in. It really is like anyone can make a song, right? I'm not trying to make it like, oh, I'm the best at this, right? Like anyone can make a song, but you have to, like, even the beats that I'm putting in there, you have to describe it, right? You have to describe, like, if I want an acoustic guitar with like a melody behind it, or someone, you know, with a chorus line behind it, you have to type that in. You have to type it in, right? So here's one of the things, right? Just a description for that rap song. It was no, that's the wrong one. Let me go back to, this is what it says for me to type in for the rap song. Okay. This is for this one. It's rap, gritty, hard-hitting gangster rap, early 1990s gangster rap with a hard beat. You know what I mean? Like that was early on when I made that one, right? Some of the other ones that I'm making, it goes even, where is it? So this one, acoustic indie pop, acoustic guitar, soft percussion like hand claps, okay, light bass line, a warm vocal delivery, breezy, controversial, with a touch of playfulness, right? Like you have to put in exactly what you want. Then it makes the thing. And then if you like it or not, that's a whole different story. Might have to mix it yourself. That takes way, way, way longer. And I can do that, Jones, but that takes way, way longer, right? I don't have the time for that. If I have time for that, I have time more to put into my YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? I would rather make fun, quirky little things to make this better. than to spend time fucking being a music producer. You see what I'm saying? The reason it's good and fun is because I don't have to spend a shit ton of time. You can't feed it a beat. You can feed it lyrics, but you can't feed it a beat. At least not that I know of. Here, let me bring it back up and look. I'm pretty sure you can't feed it a beat. When you hit create, what it tells you, okay, you put in your lyrics. You can make it instrumental or not. Style of music, you can exclude styles, okay? You can give it a persona, like if you want to be hateful or angry or playful or happy, whatever. You could give it a title, and that's it. You can't import your own music. It is cold in my house. Yeah. Yeah. Inside the house right now, it's like 64. I'm in short sleeves, but my head's cold. We don't have the best insulation in here, Roadkill. The house was built in 1942. Anything else you have a problem with okay? It's okay if I have this? No? I know you don't have a problem. It's just funny. Yeah, no, it's cold. It's right now outside. It's let me see. Got a problem with me. It's now 44 degrees outside. Feels like 31. Yeah, it feels like 31. Today's high is I think is a 51. Gets down on Saturday, it gets down to 33, just above freezing. No, it doesn't have a machine turret. No, it doesn't have a Yeah. Yeah, it was built in 1942. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's funny because the roof that we have, Mo, it doesn't have any insulation on the top. It has insulation on the bottom, but it has no insulation on the top. And then it's cinder block. It's all cinder block. Yeah, northern Florida got snow. Yes, North Florida got snow. It's crazy. Like, check this out. Like, we don't get this a lot, right? They have like 4 inches of snow on the ground.
And how about this? Welcome to snowy Florida, the Sunshine State being hit with a historic snowstorm.
That's Florida.
This is video from Pensacola as the snow flurry started piling up late this afternoon.
Or as we like to call it, South Alabama or South Georgia.
And how about a live look at traffic cameras in Escambia County? This is I-10, where snow is covering the street and keeping cars off the road, which is not a bad idea considering Florida drivers may not have too much experience driving in this stuff.
It's weird seeing palm trees with snow, isn't it?
Next, weather meteorologist Shane Hinton joins us live from Panama City Beach. And Shane, what are you seeing there?
Well, Elliot, it's more what are we not able to see now, because
they have to be shut down. Like they're not prepared for snow there.
As you can see, I mean, it is fully snowing now. It was starting as sleet just about, I'd say, 15 or so minutes ago, and now it has turned into full-on flurries, and we're seeing reduced visibility along the sky.
The last time it snowed for me, we had flurries, but it melted before it even hit the ground. It was like 2003 or 2004.
Lines.
Here in Orlando.
One of those things that Floridians are not accustomed to. Sure, yes, we've seen snow in the state of Florida before, but let's be honest, it is a rarity. And when we say historic winter storm, we certainly do mean it. I mean, the first blizzard warning along the immediate Gulf Coast was issued today in Louisiana. Now, there's no blizzard warning here, but we do have a winter storm warning in effect for the Panhandle as we make our way throughout the rest of this evening.
I blame everyone using aerosol cans and the cows that are farting. This is why we're getting snow in Florida.
Tomorrow. Now, there is also the potential that we could break
because of the tariffs.
Snowfall records
because of the tariffs.
Not only here in Panama City Beach and Panama City, but also maybe for the state, as the state snowfall record is 4 inches, set back from 1954. So that's something that we're.
At least you know that Bud Light truck van in the background, the beer's staying cold, you know?
We're going to have to keep a measurement on as we go throughout the next 24 hours or so. We've been able to talk with residents in the nearby area about their experience and about their thoughts of this, and many of them saying, you know, this is crazy. We just spoke with a woman who moved here from Canada, and she said she moved to Florida to escape this.
Oh, I blame her then. I blame the person that moved from Canada. She brought the winter with her.
Kind of weather. Now, if you have loved ones in this area, of course, encourage
That's crazy.
them to, you know, hunker down, stay at home.
That's cool, though, to be honest.
We mentioned a little bit earlier that Floridians maybe not accustomed to driving so often in this kind of weather, but conditions are expected to unfortunately deteriorate over the next several hours, but we'll continue to have live updates throughout our shows, Elliot.
You know, Shane, I cannot believe my eyes, and Ivan is joining us. I'm older than you guys. I remember 1977, there was some ice on some windshields here in South Florida, and we called it snow.
Yeah, I lost
This
audio,
is real snow. What's going on here?
It is pretty remarkable what we're seeing here, and we'll have updates for you.
Yeah, and we're going to get you a ruler out there, my friend, because you're going to have to start measuring that. I tell you what, you know, things are changing for Shane as we speak, because you got a lot of cold air coming in. The snow is driving the cold air down to the ground. I'll show you the temperatures. They're continuing to tumble. Panama City is now going to get in the thick of it over the next hour. 24 degrees in Pensacola.
It might as well be below zero for people up there.
This is Gulf Beach. That is the beach. It is not sand, what you're looking at there.
That's cool. The beach is a snowfield.
That is snow, and it is snowing not just on the beach, but on the water 70 miles to the south. This is just an incredible situation here. One of those extreme climate events. We're going to be talking about perhaps a 100-year situation here. 6 inches, that blew the record already in New Orleans. Over a half a foot still snowing there. 5 inches plus in Pensacola, and that swath of snowfall. These are all the snowfall reports, dozens and dozens coming in. Anywhere from 6 to as much as 11 inches in parts of southern Louisiana. Some of the parishes there just getting clobbered. So here's what's happening in the atmosphere. Look at Panama City. We're in the mid-30s just about an hour ago, and now the temperature has plummeted into the low 30s, and we're going to keep going into the 20s here. That is a solid shield.
Did he say Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America? I don't know.
Of snow now that is not going to change over back to rain, and you can see Apalachicola going from 48 to 36. Literally, the precip is dragging down the cold air, and that's what we have going. In fact, the winter storm warning, of course, that is still in effect.
Oh,
through
it's just
tonight
right on the
tomorrow.
cusp.
It's not going to stop snowing until midday tomorrow.
Hold on a second. They're right on the cusp of advisory. Oh, we're on an advisory right on the edge.
Through tonight into tomorrow. It's not going to stop snowing until midday tomorrow. And our latest snow tracker here is depicting 2.5 inches for the beach there in Panama City, and perhaps as much as
that snowfall right there. Right there. It's getting close. We could potentially see snow where I'm at.
3 to 6 inches, and there will be a swath there heading up towards the Carolinas where will likely pick up anywhere from 6 to 12 inches. An incredible event. All right.
That's crazy.
With energy.
That's crazy. It's getting close.
And how about this?
Hold on, I want to see something. Did they show when they showed the usually, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but usually when they show the Gulf of Mexico, it usually says Gulf of Mexico here, right? It usually says Gulf of Mexico. But for some reason, it doesn't say Gulf of Mexico. It doesn't say anything. They're just leaving it blank. They're like, let's just not put it on there. Let's not put it on there. It doesn't say Gulf of Mexico anymore. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe it doesn't usually say it, but I'm pretty sure when I look at a news report, it usually says Gulf of Mexico there. Dream Theater just had a new song. I don't even know who that is. I don't know who that is, Eclipse. Robert Jones says, cowards! You know, I don't know if that's true. I want to look up. Hold on a second. I'm going to go back to December. Hold on. Let me see.
Hello, everyone. Happy.
Let me see. This one doesn't show it. Well, maybe it doesn't. Nope, on the radar like that, it does not show it. On the Doppler radar, it doesn't show it.
The weather will be
Yeah, on a different here, I'll show you. So on a different map, it does still show the Gulf of Mexico, but that's Google. That's Google. When it's on this type of it doesn't say the actual names. It doesn't say the names on it. I just thought it was funny. You know what I mean? Yeah, it doesn't actually say the names. What AI am I using for what? For the music, I already told you the Sono, Soro, Suno, Sono, Suno. That's how you say it, Suno. Roadkill says I just looked it up, and they're saying that the Mexican government says that they can still call the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of Mexico. I can't believe that was a thing. So this is what I looked up when people asked. So I don't know, maybe someone over in Europe or New Zealand or Australia. Obviously, if wherever you are for schools and whatnot, they can call it whatever, right? So if it's the Gulf of Mexico and they still call it the Gulf of Mexico, but now the United States calls the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, right? So like, it doesn't mean that everyone's changing what the name is. It just means that the United States that's what it's called. But people in Mexico are still going to call it the Gulf of Mexico, right? So our maps in the schools and stuff like that will probably get changed, okay? But doesn't mean the whole world is calling it the Gulf of America. You know what I'm saying? No, you're good, Mo. You're good. Because I looked it up because I was like, because not every place in the world calls the things the same. Isn't that messed up, though? I mean, sure, I guess. I mean, if you look at it, though, right? What's the difference that what Obama did when he changed Mount McKinley, right? He made a vote, said, I like to change the mountain of Mount McKinley, and then they did. So now he's changing Mount McKinley back to Mount McKinley. Yeah, you can issue an order. It's got to go to a committee, and the committee votes on it, right? And then if the committee votes on it, and he's not the first person to do it. There was a politician back in the 80s that did it as well. You know what I mean? I think it was like 88 or 89, something like that. They try to pitch this as well back in the 80s about the Gulf of America. So it wasn't it's not the first time. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Let's see here. Someone wrote an article about it. That I had to pay a subscription model. You Washington Post, you bastards. Let's see. Landmark body of water within the country. I could have sworn there was another person that in the 80s, a politician wanted to change it. I read an article a couple months ago about it because when he was running for campaign, he brought it up, right? And then someone else. So I was like, oh, let me see what it says. And I looked it up, and I was like, oh, someone else tried to do this same thing, and it got laughed out. It got laughed out of the thing when they did it originally. I can't find it. Let's see. Yep, I can't find it. Robert Jones says a lot of countries have names, aren't the names that they use themselves. Right. Yeah. My only issue is you're confusing children learning, just changing shit like that. I mean, I get it. But it's just like changing Twitter to X. You know what I mean, Dolphin? It's just like a sports team. I don't know, by you if they change the sports arenas. To me, like, there's Joe Robbie Stadium. Okay? Joe Robbie Stadium was the place that I grew up watching the Dolphins and the Marlins and stuff like that. And then they changed it to, Pro Player Stadium. Then they changed it to Hard Rock Stadium. I don't call it that, right? I still call it Joe Robbie Stadium. You know what I mean? Like, so, but that's a little different because people are paying for it or whatnot. But it's the same thing, right? Like, someone's used to what it's called, and then they change the name, and then you have to change with it, right? It's not the first. It won't be the last. Street names change, right? Your street name that you're on was a name before, and then it changes, and then you have to learn it again. So I don't know if you have something there with the kids, because the kids will adapt and change. What's going on, Sin? Did I miss some big news? Someone left Insomniac. No, I didn't hear about the Insomniac news. But then again, we didn't surf Twitter this morning. We can do that right now. Eclipse says, you need to make a music tab in your Discord because I don't feel right putting in other stuff. AI stuff, the AI creation, you can put it there. If it's pictures, music, whatever it is, it's all you can put in the AI section. Eclipse is exactly. Eventually, everyone will die, and no one will know it was called the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, right. Right. So it was called Miller Park. Now it's called American Family Field. You still call it Miller Park. That's exactly right. I mean, it's gonna happen, right? You're gonna pick and choose your fights of like, I'm not gonna. If you still want to call it the Gulf of Mexico, then call it the Gulf of Mexico. I don't think there's a law saying that if you call it the Gulf of Mexico, you're going to prison. Just saying. Insomniac game teases potential return to the movies under a new leadership. Is that what you're talking about? Insomniac Games' potential return to the movies under new leadership. With new leadership at Insomniac Games, the studio is considering expanding beyond game console once again. We'll add that. I'm not going to read that now, but we'll add that. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Oceans scare you? Wolverine dev refuses to comment on 2025 release date, acknowledging pent-up excitement. Okay, whatever that means. Just read the title, not reading anything else. He's excited. He's got to pee. Yep. What else we got here? Checking out the Twitter. You know what? I just thought about it. I'm going to make a song about checking out Twitter. And the reason for that is, while I'm surfing through Twitter, I can have a song playing in the background. 30s checking out Twitter. Something. I'll come up with something. It'll be a little song that plays in the background as I'm looking up stories on Twitter. Roadkill says, in the Gulf by Seminole, there's a perfect line right through where it goes like brackish to saltwater. It goes from like green to brown. It's the scariest part to swim through when you were a kid. Oh, yeah. I do remember that going over by the Gulf. I have a lyric. There you go. I'm gonna make a song about everything. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about a thing. All right, here we go. Big news today. Read more on PlayStation blog. Congrats to IG Ted Price on his retirement, and to our new studio heads. There you go. So there's let me get this on the PlayStation blog. PlayStation blog. What's next for Insomniac Games? So there's some news for you. That's the lyrics you want me to go with? Looking up gaming news, and my innocent is taken by a porn bot. Do that. I don't know if we'll put that in there. You think you're getting addicted to creating AI songs? No, I'm letting you know. I've said it plainly out straight. I'm addicted to making songs. There's no, I think you're getting addicted. I'm addicted to making AI songs. They're fantastic. There's no hiding it, Altern. I literally said 3 weeks ago when we started making them. 4 weeks ago? About a month now? No, Delta Force is not on console yet. The devs have yet to comment. Someone asked them straight up, right? Someone asked them straight up, is Delta Force, what's happening with Delta Force on console and mobile? And they completely stopped talking about console, and they were like, oh yeah, we're working on the mobile, and we don't have anything to say yet about the mobile. But they didn't say anything about console. So people are like, are they doing console? So have no idea what's going on there. Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing to. I forgot what the hell I was going to talk about. Mike, it's like the guy from In Living Color. They had a song about that. Everything. Oh yeah, want to hear it? Here it go. We make that reference all the time. We wrote a song about it. Want to hear it? Here it go. That's actually a good idea, House. I think I'll get that as the little clip that pops up. Want to hear it? Here it go. We'll get that, and then I'll play the song. That's actually a good idea. Yeah, David Algreer. You should do an AI song about you doing an AI song, and then play with the AI song while doing a new AI song. Very fourth wall breaking there. Z says 30. I always wondered if Sony and Microsoft can stonewall a game like Delta Force because it would impede on what they're working on. Interesting. That is true. Z. Could they? I mean, I guess they could. Right? I guess they could. They could stop something from happening and bring it onto console. They're like, no. These are the requirements we have, and the developers are like, nah, we're not worried about that. Interesting. Oh, that guy left. That guy left after 30 years. Does that mean Wolverine's done? Those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, here, let me bring it up. This is the guy that left Insomniac. And when I say Wolverine done, I don't mean like done like it's not coming out. I mean done like it's done and it's coming out. That's what I mean by that. Just make it clear. Because for some reason, some people think I like to shit on Sony for some reason. I don't know why. YouTube launches speed control for high-quality audio tests for premium users. Okay. Right. I mean, that's a big. Well, here's the thing: the guy from Respawn, the guy who was the director of, he left a couple months ago. After Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order, or Fallen Order and Survivor, the director of that game left. So they're making a third one, but without the director. So the next Star Wars, the third part of the Star Wars, that's going to be interesting. Like the creative director is not there anymore at Respawn that made Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I don't think we have anything else here. Nothing else. Xbox increases external storage size support. Let's see if we'll bring that in. Maybe we'll talk about that on GXG. He says, sell the solution, YouTube. Way to go. All right. I think that's going to do it for us today. We'll be back tonight for not shooting the shit with Sarge, because Sarge has got plans tonight. We're going to play a game tonight. I don't know if we're going to be playing some more Marvel Rivals. I don't know if I want to play some more Delta Force. Had fun. If you guys missed that, go check that out. We played Delta Force last night. We might play some more Delta Force this evening. Or you might play Starship Troopers on console, because I wanted to try that out, because they made some fixes and stuff like that, so we could play that maybe tonight as well. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do appreciate you very much. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time, with gaming news and fun below. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. We're nitty, tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Laughs and news, our winning blend, the show with you, our dearest friend. Comments rolling, chats alive, the daily grind, 5-star vibe. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Good morning, sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time, with gaming news and fun below. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Come on in, your morning